gentlemen, we went over the rules.
Marquez has definitely bulked up, comes in at 143 pounds, the heaviest he's ever been, but he says he feels good. And that's what he tried to do with his new physical trait. If he's able to stay with Manny Pacquiao.
It was with Balco, so there's a lot of talk about that. Of course, that was involved with the steroid era, but he's totally clean. And he is big in the third round of the second fight. Marquez has never been able to execute that, but Marquez very cut around the midsection, though he looks a lot thicker than he usually does. But obviously, he's been doing a lot of sit-ups. And emotionally for this fight, Freddie Rogers said to hold it that at any time. So both guys are strong. So far, Marquez is missing more than he's hitting. Pacquiao is landing more clean shots. Or that he was going to be more aggressive, but he really hasn't been. Manny dictating the flow early.
He's a natural counterpuncher, and that's what he does best. If Manny comes at him most of the night, that bodes well for Marquez.
So both of them would be a little bit older than their chronological age in terms of their ring age. As Jaime told you, Marquez is a counterpuncher, and that's what he does best. And that is the guy that's the more aggressive. And that's been the only difference in all three of these fights to 7 inches, their wingspan, I should say.
The right uppercut.
Well, Manny can be hit by the uppercut, but Manny delivers an uppercut and then a straight left hand down the middle, the way you fight the right-handed guy. Took of his own. In his case, it's a left power shot because he's a southpaw fighter. There was a left hook and then back upstairs by Marquez. They're into it now.
It's been taking the lead here.
Another good left hand by Manny getting through. So far, Marquez really hasn't done pretty good by that shot by Manny Pacquiao. Any of the early rounds, even though he got knocked down in the first round of the first fight. Well, that left hand will tell you something about Christmas. And that's what they want, the left hook and right uppercut. Out of the way when this guy assaults him. Gets off first again, and first again does Manny Pacquiao. The bell ends round 2. That's a judge this fight. Only one Nevada judge, and that's Adelaide Bird. And explain exactly to each other how they're going to score this fight, which they did today.
To the left, and he's allowing Marquez to time him for that right hand.
He always does fight. Let's see if at any time does he. But you know, you've heard Freddie say in previous fights, hey, trying to move a little bit to the right.
Too long to get off.
He is, Jaime. A little bit better round for Mark.
Question, Bob. Because if he...
He drops Pacquiao for the first time in 4 fights. Manny was knocked down by an overhand right hand. There's the power of 1 minute. So Pacquiao did get knocked down. That's what Marquez wanted.
Everybody has been waiting to see whether Marquez he literally dropped. It was a big, big right hand. But what he hasn't done in the last few fights is go
a little bit. And people are cheering Marquez. We got us to fight this time, folks, as if we didn't the first 3 times. Look at these guys loading up shots. Here comes the bell in the 3rd round. Wow, how about that at the bell? Manny Pacquiao, he ticketed and he did get it off.
You know what? I don't know if this has any bearing into what's going to happen later on. Whether he wins or not, that is a small victory for Marquez.
It's a small victory for him, but he wants a definitive victory. He wants to drop him again. Able to avoid that big right in. And again, if he has to. But you know, you pointed out another thing.
Well, this also may
3 and 6 for both fighters, 17 for Pacquiao, and Marquez has
make Manny be a little bit more cautious and not as aggressive as that lead Manny to take advantage of something that might send Marquez to the canvas.
And no matter how this goes, unless somebody's definitive in the last of this round.
Well, I think that Marquez has landed a couple of good shots. He landed a really hard, stiff jab a minute ago that moved Manny.
This Manny with a combination to number 4.
I myself always myself to be redundant at the end of a round. Which guy would I want to be at the end of that round? Right now, I think I may have wanted to be Marquez so far.
And I would too, as he walked into another right-handed Manny. Downstairs goes Marquez. I have Marquez slightly out in front by 1 point. We'll see how it unfolds. But there are people that think the distractions are still there. Boy, the crowd is really into it here at the end. That's the right hand go. Actually, his punch. Oh, that's going to be scored as a knockdown. There was a right left hook, but it was balanced. So down goes Marquez. He'll take the standing 8 count. He was more off balance, but there was a left hook. So let me get just a straight left hand. Back comes Marquez. That straight left hand by Manny. Caught him off balance, but look at Marquez back.
They said all week this was going to be a war. I had my doubts. I don't anymore.
Oh, I think you put that fear. Manny filled with confidence again. That's one thing. Even though it was straight right hand by Pacquiao. Marquez able to double that up. Here's Pacquiao trying to drop him again.
I think Marquez is hurt.
He may be. There's a shot. He is. He doesn't hang on. He fires back. Pacquiao is going to the finish right now. Marquez will have no part of it as he loads up shots himself. What a round of boxing this is. How about this, folks? Back and forth they go. Manny landing most of the shots. How about that round of boxing? Here comes the bell. It's all over in the 5th round.
And Marquez is all busted up.
The damage was done because Manny busted him up with a cut across the bridge of the nose, and I think there's another cut as well.
And it's only the 6th round.
Boy, this is something else. Well, we thank the world for Bob Arum to put this one back together, because this is a sensitive mouth hanging down, which is very dangerous to get hit in the jaw.
Bleeding profusely through the nose, so I think that nose is definitely busted.
Yeah, I think you're right too. You can see this round, but then he busted him up in the remaining part of the 5th round. And back and forth they go here, and big surprise was Pacquiao was down in the 3rd, then he was able to knock Marquez down ever so lightly in the last. And Manny's really into this thing now. Hands high, straight left hand down the middle. Every time he puts that on the top of the nose, I'm the 6th. I mean, look at the dip in the bridge of the nose. It's broken. Right on top of it again. Fighters. Man, this is something else. These guys are so tough.
You've got to be...
Breed into themselves, honey. With over 10,000 fight. Nice left hand by...
Definitely took something out of Marquez, because he's not moving like he was previous 2 or 3 rounds.
No, you just take it. Goes to the right hand lead, and very narrow the cast of Marquez. That's where power comes from. And then they are back into a war again to end the 6th round. Manny went down. He hit him with a body shot. I don't know if he can get up from this.
Straight on the chin.
He got him on the chin. He's knocked out. Juan Manuel Marquez has done it. He's knocked out Manny Pacquiao.
Looping hand. It caught Manny straight. Right on the right side of his face. Here it is again. Right over Manny's left hand. And Manny seems stunned. And then Marquez goes down. I think it was a little bit of a combination of the punch and also that he lost his balance. But after that, Pacquiao absolutely took over that round. And first, the jab, and then he sort of steps on his foot, but at the same time, he connects with that straight left hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, this fight comes to an end at 2 minutes, 59 seconds of round number 5. The winner by knockout victory, damas y caballeros, de Ciudad de México, Juan Manuel Dinamita